I've been wanting to do a follow-up video to where I use the free version of Hockey Tracker, and now I've been using Hockey Tracker Pro, and I'm absolutely in love with it, so I'm here to talk to you guys about that today and follow up on my original Hockey Tracker video. So when I went to do the free trial of the Hockey Tracker Pro version, one of the first things that I noticed about it is I believe it's incredibly reasonably priced for all the information you get out of it. So I did the 1 month free trial just to make absolutely sure that I would like it, even though I was pretty sure that I would, and now I'm on the annual subscription. It's only $2.08 a month, and in my opinion that is absolutely worth it. And you'll see why as I go into further detail with all of the cool things and all the metrics that this app can track. Okay, so this right here is the home screen. Doesn't look a whole lot different than the free version at the moment, but just to recap here, it summarizes how many workouts you had, how many hours of ice time you had, and how many miles you skated and everything like that. And it shows links here to each individual session that you had. In my case, I played in 2 different games and a stick time in the last 3 in this particular sample size. The next thing that you'll see here is where it says recovering. So the watch will measure your resting heart rate and a bunch of other factors, which I'm going to show here in a second to tell you how far it will say that you've either overtrained, recovered, ready to play, everything like that. Going into further detail on recovery here, it gives a definition on what it considers recovery and everything like that, and it'll basically move that meter to tell you how far you are from being able to skate again or work out again or whatever the app kind of deems would be best for you in that regard. In my case, the last time that I skated twice in a day, I've only seen this one time. The last time I skated twice in one day a couple of weeks ago, it actually was all the way down at like 8%, and it said overtrained. So that about adds up because I was pretty gassed after all that because I hadn't been skating a whole lot lately. So it gives you a definition here as well, which I'll go ahead and read that real quick. Recovery is calculated based on your most recent HRV of 31 ms, which is minus 20 lower. Negative 20% lower than your 30-day average of 39 ms and your most recent resting heart rate of 63 BPM, which is 7% higher than your 30-day average of 58 BPM. So it gives you the math in regards to how it's calculating how well you're recovering. The last update was on 6/17/23. You can use the mindfulness app on the Apple Watch, which I don't have. I think my girlfriend uses it, but I don't. Watch to trigger a new HRV reading and update your recovery. So that's good information to have. Personally, I just go with what this uses. I've never really used the Apple Watch or the mindfulness app, but I'm not opposed to giving it a try, but I don't really think I need it. So additionally, on here it has heart rate variability. That's just basically saying every peak and trough that you had in your heart rate, every high and low. That was already included on the free version. Resting heart rate here is another one that was included as well in the free version, but it ties into everything that I'm going to show you here when I get closer to really examining the pro version. Blood oxygen was also part of the free version as well. Again, it's one of those things that's going to tie in more information, the more specific things that the app tracks. So now here you start getting into game specifics and everything like that. So I pulled up one particular session that I had here just to give an example. So the stats at the top were in the free version. Those are ones that you enter manually and everything. Normally I'm zeros across the board. If I'm zeros across the board, I did my job that night as far as I'm concerned. So it also has a note function. I'll show you that at the bottom so that you can make specific notes about each specific game and everything like that. Like if you play multiple positions, you can say, I played defense this game, I played wing this game, I played center this game, whatever. And in this one in particular, if I remember correctly, I want to say I was playing defense. So now we're starting to see some of the stuff that you don't see in the free version. So here I've got the heart rate and heart rate recovery, which I believe were included in the free version, where it's got some more specific metrics. This is speed and effort level. So I'm going to scroll down into the effort level in a second and everything like that, but you can see how it's how your heart rate recovery is rated and everything like that. You can also overlay the heart rate to the actual speed itself, which I'm going to show in a different slide here, but this is just an example of some of the metrics that you get with the pro version. So here's a demonstration of the effort level along with the definition for it. You'll see that it breaks it down by maximum hard, moderate, light, and very light. And there's also another one you can't see in the screenshot that says resting, and that's basically for when you're on the bench. It divides up based on your heart rate, what amount of effort that you've been putting in, and how much time that you've been putting that amount of effort in over the course of your ice time. The way that it defines effort level here in the app itself, it says effort level uses heart rate data to measure how much cardiovascular work a player puts forth during a session. To determine an effect level score, we look at the cumulative time spent in each of the 5 heart rate zones. Each zone is progressively weighed higher. These zones are customized to each player based on the last 5 workouts. So that's a big thing too. So if you do off-ice stuff, which I've finally gotten back into doing and everything like that, that will affect how this analyzes your effort level, because I noticed when I started working out off ice again and I would go get on the ice and play, it seemed like that it was not reflecting as well in my effort level, but then it adjusted to it after me skating a few times and working out a few times and everything like that. Now, that does not tie in with the Apple Fitness app, and I'm going to get to in a couple of minutes, I'm going to get to the whole dryland training thing and why I don't think that the Hockey Tracker Pro app is good for that. But as far as anything you do on the ice, be it goalie, officiating, pickup, beer league, whatever, it's great for it. So these zones are personalized to you, and I think that that's a really good way for you to track your own personal progress. So the next 3 things we're going to look at here, we have VO2 max, hockey fitness level, and skating efficiency, and each of them have their own individual definitions within the app as well. So in the case of VO2 max, that one I believe was covered in the free version, but just to recap real quick, VO2 max is a measurement of the maximum amount of oxygen that an individual can utilize during intense or maximal exercise. It is measured as millimeters of oxygen used in 1 minute per kilogram of body weight. Hockey Tracker estimates your VO2 max based on your heart rate during hockey and your resting heart rate, which is queried from the health app. So I'm really happy that mine's as good as it is there. Now, the next one here, the hockey fitness level, I'm very disappointed in myself, and I'm going to rectify that. Well, I've been working to rectify that because this was over a month ago that I actually took these metrics. So hockey fitness level is a ratio of using your weight, max speed, and heart rate at the time of your max speed that gives you an indication of your fitness level. The faster you can skate at a lower heart rate, the higher your hockey fitness level, and vice versa. So that makes perfect sense to me. The faster you skate at a lower heart rate indicates that you're a lot healthier, or at least you're more fit as far as in terms of hockey. So that one I've actually made a lot of progress on. Skating efficiency, I'm actually surprised about how good that this was with me. I'm a decent skater, I think, but I'm not particularly thrilled with all of my skating mechanics, and I've worked on them over the years to try and perfect them. I particularly don't like my forward stride and my short choppy steps to accelerate, are the 2 things I feel like I've always really struggled with. So skating efficiency, mine's in the good range, but I would like to get it above 1.5 eventually at some point, and that's the thing I'm going to talk about at the end of the video, some of the personal goals that I've set with this for the end of the year. Skating efficiency is a measure of how aerobically efficient you skate based on your speed and heart rate. Hockey Tracker calculates SE based on your top skating speeds and your heart rates during the times the speed samples were measured. So pretty straightforward stuff as far as these metrics, but these 3 are some of the most important ones that you're going to find in the app. The app breaks down individual shift data. Here you can see the length of each how many shifts you had and the length of them over the course of your ice time and everything like that. In this case, I had 18 shifts, of which one of them I was only out there for 22 seconds, but then there was one where I was out there for 3:31. That's not normal even for me playing defense. I normally don't like staying out there that long. I'm like one of those guys that loves to go out there, give a whole bunch of effort, and get off the ice, catch my breath, and then go back and do it again. But I'm also, when I did this particular session, I was really badly out of shape. I've improved since then. And then also you can go in here to this and click on this button here where it says to review the individual shift data. And so what it does here is it breaks it down entirely. So for those of you listening on audio, so it'll say the shift length was, for example, my first shift was 58 seconds. It tells you the exact time that it occurred. In this case, it was 9:25 p.m. to 9:26 p.m. Minimum and maximum heart rates, and this one I had 135 and 164. I skated 152 feet. Yeah, I was definitely playing defense that night if that's as far as I went. Burned 16 calories in that one shift with a max speed of 5.3. And it breaks it down like that for every single shift, and I think that that's really cool, especially like if you have the ability to go back and watch your games, like if somebody records them or if you have LiveBarn or something like that, and it can give you an idea of, you know, your ebbs and your flows throughout the pace of a game, depending on what type of situation you were in, like if you're utilized on special teams or something like that. This could be really useful for, like I said, anybody who plays. Additionally, you'll see there's a section for notes. So typically what I write in there, I'll write that, like, what position I play, because like I said, I normally switch between center and right defense. I'd like to go back to playing defense full time. Jumping back and forth is getting kind of old in my opinion. But you can go in there, write the notes. You can write, like, what opponent you were playing, or, you know, which league you were playing in, if you play at multiple levels or anything like that. Just anything that you want to throw in there, and that makes it incredibly useful to help out and everything like that. Personally, I write goals and stuff in there, not like goals that I score, because I don't do that. Personal goals that I have as far as improving my hockey fitness and everything like that, and little things that I think that it can improve on. So this right here, as you can see, I didn't skate for a while. I only skated like 3 times in that couple of months and everything here. But this right here shows you trend lines in regards to hockey fitness level, skating efficiency, and all that type of stuff. And this is a really good way to track how you're doing with everything. These are from around June 15th as well, when I showed the initial stuff that I had on here and everything. And you can expand the chart and everything like that, but expanding the chart here didn't really do me any good. Didn't have an abundance of data yet, whereas by the end of summer I will. So I'm going to do one more follow-up video with Hockey Tracker Pro and show that stuff off too. But this is a really cool metric so that you can measure your progress and see if you're regressing in any way and make some changes if you feel like you need to. So this right here is from a different game that I played in a few days before that, where I was playing forward. You'll notice the difference in speed there and everything like that, because I had to, you know, skate a whole lot faster and a whole lot harder when I was playing forward and everything. I was playing center that night, and so you'll notice on the speed aspect where it shows the metrics of speed versus burst, speed versus heart rate and everything like that. You can overlay the heart rate. I demonstrated that here with one where it overlaid the heart rate and one where it didn't, just so you can get an idea of some of the differences there and everything. So the last thing here before I go into the summary, I think that this app is absolutely worth it. It has a few things that it could improve on, but here's the things that I find to be a downside. One, the dry land training setting is kind of worthless in my opinion. If you're not actually skating, be it on ice or roller hockey or whatever, I don't really think that it can be used outside of that. You're better off just using Apple Fitness or something of the like to record anytime that you go to do weightlifting or hit the bike or anything like that. While the ability to share is good, and there may be some capability that this app has that I overlooked, or maybe there's a version that's strictly for coaches and everything like that that will let you, you know, compare players and everything like that. Essentially, you have to basically share that data and look at it side by side without the assistance of the app, from what I can tell. My biggest complaint about the app, though, is that it doesn't have some sort of goal setting that you can do on it. For example, with the hockey fitness level, I would like to get mine above, say, 175, right? And I would like to be able to input that in the app as my goal is to have my hockey fitness level at 175. And if I could periodically receive notifications saying, hey, you're on track for that, or hey, you're falling off, you're not making that at the moment, that would be really cool in my opinion. I think that that's one of the few things that they could do to improve this, because it's pretty good overall. To really truly find anything wrong with this app, I kind of had to nitpick. In my opinion, I'm giving the Hockey Tracker Pro app a legitimate 8.5 out of 10, and I think that its biggest advantage, other than all the metrics it provides you, is the metrics it provides you for a very low cost. So, in addition to me saying that I think that the app is totally worth it in this particular video, my first thing is going to be to improve my top speed and my burst speed. Looking at it on my phone right now, my max speed is 13.9, and I've hit that 3 or 4 times and haven't been able to break it. And when I played pickup Friday night, my max was 10.8, but I was playing defense. But my goal here is by the end of August, I want my max speed to be above 15 miles an hour. And then by the end of the year, I'm aiming for 17.5. So I got a lot of work to do there, but I can do it. My average burst, I'm currently at 10.5. I would like to improve that to at least 14. Acceleration has always been something that I've struggled with a little bit, so I'm going to work really hard on that. As far as the cardiovascular metrics go, let's see what we got here. So my max heart rate has been pretty good. I want to keep it that way. More than anything, let's see, average heart rate, 172, that's hanging in there steady. More than anything, I want to make sure the heart rate recovery stays good. Currently, I hang out primarily in the excellent range, which is 36 to 48. So my goal with that is, by the end of August, I want to get above 48, and I want to maintain staying above 48 from now until the end of the calendar year. So effort level, I've been consistently hanging out around 147 to 150. My highest one has been 152. My objective there is to go, one, do not fall lower than 150 between now and the end of the calendar year, and I want to have that above 180 by the end of the calendar year. So if I get myself in better shape, that's automatically going to improve. My hockey fitness level is kind of all over the place right now. I've bounced between 115 and 142 over the last month that it looks like, and 150 is what's considered good, so I'm getting closer to getting that. So what my objective there is, I would like to be at 175 by the end of the calendar year, and that's the only one that I'm going to set a really long-term goal, and I'm going to look back at that one in next June, and I would like to be above 200. The next one I really want to improve in is my skating efficiency. I've been hanging out around 1.33 to 1.37 over the last month. I would like to get that above 1.5 by the end of August, and then maintain that to the end of the year and maybe get closer to 1.75. This is the one I think that's actually going to be the hardest for me to improve on. Like I said, I'm a decent skater, but I'm not nearly as good as I would like to be, and I don't think I'm nearly as good as I'm capable of either. I just really got to put my mind to it and focus, and I think I can do that. When doing all those things, all the other things that I want to maintain that are going well and things that I want to improve on, the amount of calories I burn, VO2 max, all that type of stuff, and then of course the other stuff will come with that, i.e. goals, assists, points, plus, minus, which are all things that you can track in the app here. Just be honest when you put them in. So in my case, 0 is pretty much all the way across the board. So additionally, it has a thing for goalie stats on here, so shots against, saves, goals against if you're a goalie. Those are my objectives with the app. And at the end of August, I'll probably make another video seeing how much progress I've made, and you guys can hold me accountable as well. And then I'll make another one again after the new year to show how far I've come from there. So I've got that stuff written down, and I'm going to hold myself to it the best that I can. That's all I've got for the Hockey Tracker Pro app for a little while. If you guys have any questions about it, let me know in the comments section. And then when I do the Warning Take Weekly, I will answer those comments in order to answer the questions and everything like that. And if I get absolutely flooded with questions, then as long as I can give you an accurate answer, I can even make another individual video just to answer those questions if there's enough of them. So that's all I've got for tonight. But yes, highly recommend Hockey Tracker Pro. You guys have a good night, and y'all take care.